Hi, welcome back to English 102 Composition 2. The next two videos model strategies for developing your thesis in the body of your paper. Having effectively introduced your thesis with an attention getter, having succinctly and emphatically stated your thesis, and then having previewed the several criteria of analysis by which you develop that thesis, it now simply remains for you to go ahead and concretely develop that thesis, moving from the introduction into the body of your paper. In these next several videos, we will model several strategies for developing a thesis statement. These will include using your own logic, using your personal experience, using quotes and the explication of those quotes, using counter arguments, and finally using facts and statistics. In addition to logic, analysis, and quotes, facts and statistics can be another effective means of developing your thesis. These can be integrated into your development throughout the body as necessary to support or clinch a claim you have made. However, there is another effective means of developing your thesis in this manner, which is to include a short paragraph in which the facts and statistics are concentrated. Just the facts paragraph, if you will, as follows. This is an example from a student paper on the subject of species extinction, and the species they chose to focus on was the manatee. West Indian manatees are large aquatic mammals with gray bodies and a flat tail. They have two flippers. Their face is wrinkled, and they have whiskers on their snouts. It is believed manatees evolved from plant-eating, swimming animals. They are related to the Steller sea cow, hunted until its extinction in 1768. An average adult is about 10 feet long and weighs from 800 to 1,500 pounds. Statistics released by Save the Manatee Club show that, quote, there have been 4,672 manatee mortalities documented in Florida from 1974 to 2002. Of those, 1,164 were attributed to watercraft collisions. 174 were attributed to floodgates or canal locks. 125 were other related. 967 were prenatal. 191 were natural cold stress, and 625 were other natural causes. For the remaining 1,426 carcasses, no cause of death was identified. In the majority of cases, the carcass was too decomposed to determine the cause of death. If presented in a concise manner, such a fact-based passage can be an effective means of persuasion. Such a compact paragraph adds weight and impact to your argument. In your journal, make an entry in which you write a draft of a just the facts paragraph based on your term paper topic, calling facts from your research, making a list of them, and then turning that list into a rough draft of a paragraph. Another effective means of developing your thesis is with your own personal experience, where relevant and if handled concisely. It not only gives a strong subjective voice to the paper, which complements the objective analysis and presentation of quotes and facts, but heightens the reader's interest as well. These are two worthwhile goals for any student writer. Here's an example. This paper was written on an environmental issue, in this case whether four-wheel drives or snowmobiles should be banned from wilderness areas. Growing up in the Northwest, skiing and sledding trips into the Cascades were a favorite winter pastime. In spring and summer, we'd go hiking. On both occasions, we had to share the outdoors with snowmobiles and four-wheelers. The incessant whine from the engines and the plumes of exhaust were simply a fact of life, a necessary irritation. Usually, I tried to ignore it, unless I was cut off in mid-path, showered with tire mud, or had the tops of my skis run over. For many years, I had a live and let live attitude. The outdoors is big enough for everyone, right? Then I had a serious conversation with my roommate, an environmental study major, who had been looking at desert ecosystems for the past 4 years, that changed my thinking. True, plans are in place to improve emission standards and encourage more responsible usage, but these plans will do nothing to alleviate the real problem caused by off-road vehicles, especially in the desert, surface soil erosion, and the air pollution that results from it. As an asthmatic with an extreme sensitivity to dust, I do not feel my health should be jeopardized to protect another's recreational hobby. This is an effective example of how your experience can be effectively used or integrated into your essay to further develop your thesis. And your own personal experience is another legitimate source of evidence, in addition to all the objective evidence you will present in the form of quotes and statistics, that can heighten the level of interest in the reader with this introduction of this subjective content. The key thing is to handle it concisely. So in summary, a brief development of a thesis with facts-only paragraph with personal experience, or with the third mode we're going to talk about, counter-arguments, can be an effective means of beginning the developmental phase of your argument while sustaining the interest aroused by the attention getter in the introduction. So let's shift our attention from using facts and personal experience to using counter-arguments to develop your thesis. At home in your journal, make an entry in which you list the con arguments or the counter-arguments to your own opinion or your own thesis. Once you have made this list of the counter-arguments, refute one or two of them, and then write the counter-arguments and these refutations up into a single paragraph. Whether it's a point of departure or as a shorter categories of development, a succinct recapitulation of the counter-argument serves as an effective launching pad into your own argument, infusing a strong argumentative voice into the paper at the outset. Now, this can be an effective means of beginning the body or developmental phase of your essay. A compact, just the facts paragraph can not only add substance and impact to your argument, but serve to break up the lengthy development of major criteria of analysis, heightening the interest of the reader. Finally, developing your thesis with personal experience can be another effective means of beginning the body of your argument if done concisely. It will give your writing a strong subjective voice to complement the analytical and objective voice that builds your argument in the ensuing criteria of development. These then are several effective means of concretely developing any thesis. In the next video, we will look at two other important means of developing your thesis: integrating quotes into your text and explicating the meaning of those quotes. Okay, so until then, thank you very much and happy writing.